Hey, good morning, it's Owen, Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Buyers, if you've got an accepted offer on a condo or townhouse or strata property in British Columbia, your realtor that's representing you is going to want to get you a copy of this Form B information certificate. Now, this is a very important document that you're going to want to read through before you remove subjects on any property. Now, a Form B has a shelf life of 30 days. It's good for 30 days. The selling realtor is going to order that and provide your realtor with a copy of it. Now, think of the Form B as a snapshot, an up-to-date snapshot of the unit you're buying, and more importantly, the Strata Corporation that you're buying into, or the complex. And it's going to provide you with a lot of key information you're going to need to know in about 2 to 3 pages. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to verify what the current strata fees are, what your monthly strata fees are. Second thing it's going to give you is how much money is in the contingency reserve fund. So how much is in that rainy day fund to help cover major expenses like roofs, boilers, elevator upgrades, that kind of thing. It's also going to tell you if there's any money owing by that owner on that unit that you're about to buy. Does he have any money outstanding? Could be delinquent in maintenance fees. He could have fines, that kind of thing that's owing. The other thing it's going to tell you is there any pending litigation or any lawsuits against the Strata Corp? Now, often I see yes ticked off on this box, and in most cases it's very minor little things. Say, for instance, a painting contractor gets hired to paint the fences. There's a dispute over the job he does and they hold back a couple of $1,000s. So he files a builder's lien or a lien against the strata to recoup that $2,000. Well, on the Form B, that's going to be ticked as yes, there is litigation pending. But if you've got 100 units in the strata, if he wins the suit for $2,000, you're talking a few dollars per owner. So it's no big deal. So often you can find those kind of things on there. Now, if you've got a legal lawsuit or a lawsuit against the strata for several $1,000,000, that's a different story. You're probably going to want to move on to the next one from there and not close on that deal. So it takes a little bit more investigation when you see yes checked off on any of those boxes. But your buying realtor, your representative, will be able to look into those things for you. The other main thing that's just starting to come out now, in 2011, they made it mandatory to get depreciation reports, which I blogged about here in the past. The other thing, they made it mandatory for the management companies to finally start putting how the parking is designated in these strata complexes. Now, they have until 2014 to do it. I don't know why they needed 2 years to get everything in order. But I just picked one up here, a Form B, 2 days ago from Gateway. And Gateway, thank you very much. You're ahead of the curve. I congratulate you. You've put the parking designation on the Form B here. You're a year ahead of schedule on it. And I would like to thank you for doing that, because if you talk to a realtor who does a lot of work with stratas, he'll tell you that the parking designation is the most confusing and the most gray area you can get into when you're selling a condo these days. Nobody knows how it's designated. It's all over the road. And finally, these management companies are going to have to start stipulating it right in the Form B instead of me having to make 5 phone calls and play phone tag back and forth. So Gateway here, you've got the parking in this particular complex. It's got 2 parking spots, and like most buildings downtown, it's designated as common property and then a checkbox on other. And the other is it's designated by the developer. So essentially this is like what most buildings are downtown. You don't own the parking spot. The parking spot in most cases is common property, and you've got either an assignment to use those spots, or in some cases it's on a 99-year lease. So you can't sell the parking spot, you don't own it. As a matter of fact, if the strata wanted to at an AGM, they could vote and get a 3/4 resolution to change the parking spots and the order of the parking spots around if they so choose. So your parking spot number 20 could be parking spot number 80 at the other side of the building if they wanted to. So you don't own the parking spots. Now, there are a few exceptions to that. There are a couple of buildings downtown. One I can think of that I've worked in is the Cube on Georgia Street. The Cube was an office tower that they converted 7 years ago to condos. And in that building, the parking is designated as an individual or a separate strata. So you do own the parking spot, and you could sell a parking spot if you wanted, and lots of owners have. There's a lot of 2 bedrooms in that building that have got 2 parking spots. There's also a lot of studios in there that didn't come with any parking. And often you'll find on the bulletin board there, owners with extra parking are willing to sell them. I had a client last year who bought a studio with no parking. He negotiated a deal to buy a parking spot from another owner. And it's done just like you're buying the condo. The cost of it was $25,000, which I think is a pretty good deal for a parking spot in Cole Harbour, because remember, that parking spot will increase in value just like the condo will. But that's rare to have parking designated as a separate strata. It's usually common property. So those are the main things that you're going to find in a Form B information certificate. And again, starting next year, they're finally going to start designating how the storage locker and how the parking is designated. Usually going to be common property. Some cases it might be limited common property, but that's mostly balconies and things like that. So important piece, make sure you read through the Form B before you remove subjects. I'm Owen Bigland. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. You can always reach me at owen@owenbigland.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Owen Bigland. See you next time.